Will we ever see the day when Africa becomes one? Not 54 separate pieces, but one powerful voice rising above borders and boundaries. It's a dream long held, but still far from reality. Because if there's one scar that still bleeds on this continent, it's this disunity. Just days ago, Burkina Faso's President Ibrahim Traoré stood in the eye of a storm. Accused, targeted, nearly overthrown. But where were Africa's leaders? Where are the big mouths of Africa? Silence, complete silence. Like nothing happened. But you watching, let's go a little bit deeper. Remember the failed assassination attempt on Trump during his rally? Most African leaders condemned the action and showed solidarity to the Trump's administration. But when it happens to an African leader like in the case of Ibrahim Traoré in Burkina Faso, they all go silence. This type of behavior only tells us one thing, that Africa is greatly divided, that African leaders hate themselves and that most African leaders are still slaves to their colonial masters. How many of them stood by him? Spoke up for him? The silence was deafening. But then, out of the silence, came a voice. A royal voice. King Mohammed VI of Morocco didn't just send a message. He sent a message wrapped in action. A gift. A powerful one. In a move that could change the future of the Sahel, Morocco opened its Atlantic ports to 3 landlocked countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. This is more than politics. This is vision, strategy, solidarity. While countries like Ivory Coast and Benin open their borders to French forces, accused of destabilizing the Sahel, Morocco opens trade routes. Patrice Talon and Alassane Ouattara has chosen the route of Western puppets. A sharp contrast. One welcomes colonizers. The other embraces brothers. In Rabat, during a historic meeting, the foreign ministers of the ICE alliance, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, stood side by side with Morocco. No pretense. Just purpose. One minister called it a gift from the heart. Another described it as the most powerful act of Pan-Africanism in our time. Before we proceed, here is a reminder to like this video, drop a comment and subscribe to our channel so that you can get more videos like this. For these landlocked nations, access to the sea is survival. Until now, they depended on countries that have turned their backs. Now, they have an open door to global markets, thanks to Morocco. Morocco gave more than just access to the sea. It opened the door to economic independence, new trade possibilities, and real self-sufficiency. These ports, now serving as entry points to the global market, have the power to cut trade expenses and unleash economic potential that's long been held back by isolation and years of being overlooked. King Mohammed VI believes in a different kind of security, not guns, not drones, but development, roads, schools, jobs. Because where there is hope, there is no room for terrorism. In a continent where unity is often spoken but rarely practiced, Morocco's action is a rare and powerful demonstration of what it means to truly support your fellow African nation. This kind of teamwork, action, and solidarity is exactly what should lead Africa into the future. Salute to Morocco for setting the standard. If more African nations offered real support to one another and chose collaboration over isolation, the dream of a new Africa, strong, fearless, self-reliant, and influential on the world stage, could become a reality much sooner than we think. Extremist groups prey on poverty. They feed on forgotten villages and abandoned youth. But what if those children had opportunities? What if the villages had clinics, industries, clean water? This is Morocco's answer. Not bullets, but we lead by example, a blueprint for Africa unity and growth. This isn't a sudden move. Morocco has long supported the Sahel, steadily and silently. Not out of sympathy, but based on principle and a deep sense of African unity. Let's rewind. When Niger experienced the coup, it wasn't ECOWAS or the African Union that took the lead. It was Mali and Burkina Faso, both under military leadership, who declared, an attack on one is an attack on all. That moment marked the birth of the Alliance of Sahel States, a bond forged through struggle and shared resolve. When Ukraine was revealed to be collaborating with rebels to destabilize Mali, the ICE didn't wait. They acted immediately, firmly and decisively. No pleading. No second guessing. Just pure resolve. And once more, the West said nothing. Silent as ever. And they all asked the Ukraine diplomats to leave Sahel as once. These are the actions for brotherhood. Rather than receiving support, the ICE was penalized. ECOWAS imposed harsh sanctions. Nigeria pulled the plug on Niger's electricity. Hospitals went dark. Lives were lost, not because of bullets, but because of decisions. They called it a stand for democracy. But what about respecting the people's choice? It's like ECOWAS member countries has no value for human life. ECOWAS turned a blind eye when a coup happened in Chad. Why the double standard? Where was the African Union's voice? Where was their presence when Mali was in crisis? They only showed up after the damage was done. But Morocco took a different path. It didn't delay or preach. It listened first, understood the needs, and then took action. By opening its ports, Morocco gave more than just access to trade, it extended freedom, hope, and the promise of a fresh start. Morocco's action goes beyond the Sahel, it speaks to all of Africa. It reflects a vision where nations uplift one another, not compete or criticize, but collaborate. King Mohammed VI didn't seek attention. He simply took decisive action. Trending News Plus salutes Morocco's bold stand. Because this is what African unity should look like. Not a slogan, but action. If more African nations follow this example, the dream of a new Africa, a strong, self-reliant Africa, will not be far. What are your thoughts? Comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Trending News Plus, where Africa's voice is heard.